Before you can yeet fish and use mech suits, you need to learn the basics to enjoy Subnautica Below Zero. So here are the tips that I learned that made my beginning much easier. First, save all the time because autosaving is not a feature in this game. You can lose a ton of progress if you forget to save and quit the game. And if you ever forget when you last saved, save just to be sure. And if you just saved and immediately wonder whether or not you just saved, save once more for long-lasting good luck. Second, don't have stuff in your hands while swimming. Unless you want to get slapped and robbed of whatever you're holding by a sea monkey, keep that gear in your pockets whenever you are not using it, or especially when you're in the proximity of a sea monkey. I've already lost a light and a knife to them, and I could never find a light that could do as good of a job again. Third, use air bladders to escape fights because this is far from an action game. There's no point to using hostile action towards monsters. You don't get a reward, and oftentimes it's quite impossible to take them down anyway. That's why air bladders are a great way to quickly avoid the action and escape the clutches of ocean chads that can easily tear you limb from limb. Just make sure you don't shatter your spine on the way up. Fourth, scan everything you can, especially if it looks industrial. Whip out that scanner and you can get a fragment of a blueprint from anything you haven't acquired before to get great new crafts that will make your life much easier. And if you already have a blueprint, you'll get 2 or 3 titanium instead, which isn't a bad deal either. Fifth, this is what a silver rock looks like. It has a more flat-sided design and tends to be a darker gray. You have a 50-50 shot of getting titanium or silver, and I've typically found it on the walls of the cracks and the twisty bridges, but that's how you can spot it for any recipe that may require it. As a quick bonus tip I remembered while making this video, take lots of bladder fish and turn them into water bottles. Hydration is very important. 6, a great way to find new blueprints is by exploring mission areas. For example, in one of the first missions where you explore where the alien noise is coming from, you can explore the other parts of the deeper twisty bridges, and if you look around, you'll see space truck parts, sea glider parts, and all kinds of blueprint materials that can lead to a pretty fun time. As a side note, you should have at least a standard oxygen tank before you partake in these explorations. 7th, once you do get the space truck, you should bring it to the max standard distance of 149 meters on deep explorations for an easy way to escape and get oxygen. Having that space truck there means you can cut out 150 meters of traveling to get refueled with oxygen. Watch out for the locals though, they like to give space trucks big hugs. 8th, keep all your empty batteries for power cell crafting. When you use up a battery, even if it's at 0%, it's going to go back into your inventory. You can then use that to craft power cells that go into space trucks as fuel. 9th, get the sleeper car and mostly reduce the effects of death. Death is temporary, but blueprints are forever. The sleeper car that attaches to your sea truck gives you a new spawn point inside of your sea truck when you die, and when you die, you only lose the more recent additions you've made to your inventory. But in this game, this just makes whatever things you lose float in the water. This all means that if you have the sea truck nearby with the sleeper car spawn point, the penalty for death no longer really matters because you get all your stuff back, or at the least you don't have to swim back to where you were every time. This also allows you to keep waving yourself at deep parts of the ocean floor where fantastic blueprints are located without worrying about dying. 10th, fishing with a propulsion cannon is the best way to fish. It allows you to yoink fish from great distances and then grab them from the cannon. Fishing gets much faster and it can save you plenty of time in situations where you need it. And if you don't like what you grabbed, you can launch it right back. You can even use this as means to get payback on sea monkeys that take your belongings. This was only the tip of the iceberg. If you learned something, drop a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time when we see just how far we can launch the fish. Thanks for watching.